What is up, guys? Today we're going to do another short video, this time with the A380, and we're going to try and do a mini flight from Orlando down to Miami. Now, the game's only been out for 2 days, and it's already getting a lot of bad reviews. But most of that, I think that's user-inflicted more than anything, honestly. A lot of people complaining about how it's too resource-heavy, about how it should be like this, it's crashing too much, it's this, it's that. I mean, at the end of the day, it's not perfect. Nothing ever is. But quite honestly, I mean, if anybody's played the older Flight Simulator titles, they know this is the same stuff that we basically dealt with, like the resource-heavy crap from Flight Simulator X and such. I mean, you're requiring a very demanding world, so to speak. I mean, we never had the jetway connections, we never had baggage carts, catering, fuel trucks, we never even had the train going from one end of the terminal to the other, at Orlando in the other one. If we did, I imagine you had to pay for it, but it was not stock in the game. It just wasn't something that was a thing then. So I mean, it is what it is at the end of the day. I mean, you gotta look at it this way. I got my settings up on high right now, if not almost ultra. I'm running on an EVGA 1060 6GB superclock card, i7 7700K CPU, only 2400 MHz DDR4, that's 32GB. I mean, quite honestly, my computer is water cooled for the CPU with Corsair H100i V2. But, I mean, it is a demanding game. It's going to take a slightly demanding computer. But NVIDIA is planning to release their 3000 series within the next few months. I mean, for anybody that's like me that needs a desperate upgrade of video cards, my computer is 3 years old come November. It's really not that bad of a thing. It just depends if you want to spend the money at the end of the day. Now, the one thing I do like about this, there's so much more interaction going on in the world. I mean, you can actually see cars on the road that actually look like cars. You have the airport vehicles, transports, trucks, pushback vehicles. I mean, I got a full load of fuel. I mean, even a bus right there transporting people as a shuttle. I mean, it's not stuff we had when FSX came out. I mean, that was stuff you basically had to buy or install third-party add-on stuff for. It's, like I say, it's what you make of it. But to me, if you got it on Game Pass like I do right now, you got the bare bones minimum. I want to get the deluxe, the premier, whatever the top-notch one is. I think I might wait on that for a month or two till they start working out bugs. And maybe till I get a better video card. But honestly, if you got Game Pass, you basically got the game for free because you're already paying for a service for other games. Now, if you bought it, I could kind of understand that, but it's the same thing we go through with other titles. I mean, the first couple days of launch, there's bugs that obviously need worked out, and they'll get worked out. I mean, Microsoft's usually good about that stuff, even if they're not perfect. But for what we have right now, I'd say it's a good start. I'm definitely pleased with what they have. It was worth the wait, even if it's not perfect. Now, one thing I can say that I've already found that I don't like, but it's a minor inconvenience. If you're a real pilot or somebody who wants to do the semi-realism thing like this with loading and unloading your passengers, fuel truck, baggage cart, so on and so forth, if you have the ATC set automatically for the AI to work the comms, as soon as you load in, start the engines, guess what? They're going to start getting you out to a runway. You aren't going to get a chance to do any of that. If you don't have them set, if you have it set to where you got to work the ATC, then, you know, it's no big deal. You can do what I just did there. So for now, that's a minor inconvenience. You can bring up the menu for the ATC and all that, and the AI to control the plane or this or that, but a minor inconvenience at the end of it. See what I mean right here? Delegate ATC to AI, assisted takeoff, landing. I mean, you got all this stuff. I mean, there's a lot of aids to help you if you're a newbie, if you're just a casual, or even if you're a professional just trying to get back into the swing of things. They actually give you a lot of help compared to the old Flight Simulator series. I mean, I actually like it because those of you who are like me growing up that always crashed plane into ground upon landing, couldn't fly, save your life, or whatever, it helps. I mean, I'm not saying, you know, have the computer do everything for you. It takes away from what fun you can have. But if you need a little help with something, like, I mean, one thing I found useful that I always had problems with was taxiing the proper way from the gate to the runway and vice versa. Well, now you have that with what's called the taxi ribbon. So that'll actually set arrows on the ground for you to follow to where you need to go. Landing path, I have yet to see that in action. I don't know what route and waypoints are going to look like. Obviously, these markers here. The only thing I don't know what fauna is going to be, if that's going to be like special buildings or this or that or whatever, but there's a lot of stuff to give you an idea where you're at or where you got to go.
Orlando ground, Blackbird 512 requesting
See,
pushback.
just like that, I turn it on, and guess what?
Orlando ground. Blackbird 512 requesting the end of pushback.
And see, there's that ribbon I was talking about. Now, just realized what time it is. I got work shortly. I don't know if I'll be able to do this full flight, but we're gonna at least get off the ground and get started and go from there. I really need to do these in a better time to work with. Now, me personally, I like flying both outside and inside the cockpit when it comes to this stuff. I don't know, I mean, there's a lot of ways you can look at it. You can see all the scenery outside. If you're in the cockpit, obviously it gives you more realism. So, I mean, it's one nice thing. You got a lot of cameras to work with. I mean, I was going through different cockpit cameras a moment ago that shows you each instrument cluster. For those of you that are looking for the realism part, that might make it easier to find the right switches, what you might need. I will say, for the handcrafted airports, I'm guessing Orlando is one of them. where they went above and beyond with all the detail. It looks phenomenal. I mean, I've been to Orlando a few times in my life, more or less back late 90s, early 2000s, but it definitely looks good for my taste.
Roger,
I mean,
Blackbird 512.
now yes, you're seeing it lag pretty immensely. I mean, like I said, I do have my settings turned up. It is a resource hog, I will say that. But if you got a computer that can handle it, you ain't got nothing to worry about.
Blackbird 512, hold position, caution, other traffic. Blackbird 512, continue taxi. Hold position, Blackbird 512.
Now, I will say one thing too, as you just seen on screen there, two 747s collide with each other. Obviously, you can have damage turned off. I mean, they actually give you a lot of options for damage, stressing on the aircraft. I mean, when I first started playing yesterday, every time I'd get up in the air, I was being stupid and overstressing the aircraft. So I turned that off for now, but that is definitely one of those things for realism. So I mean, they do try and give you an authentic experience if you're really willing to try for it. What's nice too is they even give you a 10 series mini lesson on how to fly an aircraft, taking off, landing, navigation, so on and so forth. It's actually pretty cool. It actually gives you an idea of what to look for, what to do when. It's definitely something I'm going to be trying out and probably going back to periodically. See, we got a few probably Cessnas, Beechcrafts over here looking to take off too, so they're gonna have to wait on them. We'll hold short.
Cleared for takeoff runway 18 left Blackbird 512.
Just wait for Chief Kahuna, or Kanuna, or Caputa. I don't know, Kanuna. Looks like someone's spawning in behind. I'll wait to see what this person does real quick, but if not, I'm just gonna go. Okay. Flap set, engine up. No! I broke it! Well, darn. I messed up. Quite honestly, what threw me off was I seen this plane sitting in the runway. I'm thinking to myself, oh crap, I'm gonna hit it. I got a little too antsy with the stick. Alright, so we're back. We're gonna try this again. And as you may notice in the top right, I found the AI control. And obviously it shows what it does, and it's pretty obvious. Because right now, the AI is controlling the aircraft. It's basically doing everything for me. It's just going to be quick to get in the air after my blunder, trying to avoid that aircraft that was just sitting in the middle of the runway. It's a bit scary seeing that coming out of the corner of the screen, a little too antsy. So, we're just going to do that real quick, try and get back up in the air. We got Red Dude coming with us. I don't know where he's going. We were going to try and fly to Miami, but time constraints and obviously that pretty bad blunder that would have a lot of injured passengers. So, we're just going to practice a takeoff. While the plane's going to get there, we're going to put on drone mode. I was just in it. Just try and take a quick peek above and see what scenery looks like. Okay, so you're kind of limited to going up and down unless I haven't found the controls, but you can still move pretty freely, almost like a free roam type movement. It's actually pretty cool to be able to go and see just how much detail there is. Like, I don't know if, like that building there and those shipping containers are really there in real life, but that's pretty cool. Now once we get over to the hold short position, I'll take control from the AI for the aircraft. Like I said, get a little practice getting up in the air. Ain't gonna be able to do an actual flight, unfortunately. My blunder and also not realizing how close to work I am. So, we're just gonna do that real quick. But, I mean, hey, it is what it is. It's actually nice to be able to just taxi on the ground, see how much level of detail there truly is. I mean, for those that are big on eye candy like I am, you might suffer a little in the frame department, obviously, right now. But computer hardware gets better every year. I mean, the NVIDIA 3000 series, if you're going to go after that like I am, it's slated to have a huge jump in performance over the 2000 series. So, I mean, they're going to be pricey no matter what. But if you're looking to invest in a video card, now's definitely the time to do it. I mean, the only thing I really plan to upgrade with this computer, the hard drive, the video card, maybe the power supply if needed, but I mean, other than that, I think I'm going to keep it the way it is, and then just build another computer probably in a couple years. I mean, if I go and upgrade the video card, that's really the biggest thing I'm concerned about right now. Obviously, the mediocre RAM speed is going to bottleneck stuff, but the graphics would definitely help. At least in the situation right now where everything's loaded in, it's just a lot of polygons.
Orlando Tower Blackbird 512 at runway 18 left ready for takeoff departure to the south. Blackbird 512 cleared for takeoff runway 18 left departure to the south approved.
I don't want to know what's going on with if I'm just losing connection with some of these people or what, but we're just going to go ahead and get moving. Woohoo, a semi-near perfect takeoff on that one.
Orlando approach, Blackbird 512, 2,300 feet.
Overspeed. Overspeed. Overspeed.
Now, as you've seen, I delegated the control to the AI for this, just only because
Overspeed.
my luck, I get in the air. It's been like 10 years since I legitimately played a flight simulator game.
Overspeed.
I mean, I was big on this when I was a kid,
Overspeed.
but I'm also playing with an Xbox controller till I get something a little more
Overspeed.
proper for this.
Overspeed.
So I'm just trying to at least get myself in the air,
Overspeed.
get a view of the scenery, and just get started.
Overspeed. 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 Overspeed.
Blackbird 512 cleared to Miami Airport as filed. Squawk 2201. Turn right heading 165, proceed on course climb and maintain 9,000 feet, Blackbird 512.
The level of detail truly is phenomenal. I mean, I know this is the same stuff we see on Google, or I know it's the same stuff we see even in Flight Simulator X, just not as detailed, but it really is a big step forward for this game. I mean, I don't know how long they're going to intend to make this last, if it's going to be, you know, the next flight simulator game for 5-10 years again, you know, however long. But quite honestly, it's nice to finally be able to get back into this. And it's still going to be resource heavy. I can't stress that enough. People are complaining about that. It's a little too demanding for their computers. If you never played Flight Simulator X, you know that was the exact same way. I mean, you were lucky to have a computer back then that could handle it. I mean, my computer way back then, I think I had to keep most of the settings on low, maybe medium if I was lucky. I mean, we're talking the late 2000s. With a computer that was mid-range, I'd say, at best. I mean, it's going to be resource heavy, it's going to be demanding, but at the same time, I don't know what people really expect when we're talking. You look at most games nowadays, they're 4K, or going to be 4K compatible. Their file size is going to be bigger. It's just flat out going to be, it's just going to be heavy to deal with. Well guys, I hate to say it, but at 134 nautical miles, I'm going to have to abandon this flight and call it quits on this one. I'll definitely try and get a full-on flight in on one of these videos. I definitely try and learn all the systems well enough to not have to delegate stuff to the AI. I mean, autopilot's fairly simple to use, it's just getting everything set up proper for it. So, I hate to cut it short, but thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.